Georgie. I'm here with Georgie Cartanza. So I'm James Fisher, DPI's communication manager. Uh, Georgie, tell us your roles, more than one, and where in Delaware you are.
Uh, well, I work for Delaware Cooperative Extension as a poultry extension agent. I go statewide. I'm also a poultry farmer, so I grow organic chickens for Coleman Natural Foods. My farm is located on the east side of Dover, so that's where I'm at this point.
Okay.
And right now we're working for the university. We're working remotely, so pretty much at home, but certainly still accessible to people if they need us, either through email or through calling directly. I know last weekend one of the things that was put out, it actually indicated how we were able to be contacted through our email or either through a cell phone.
Okay.
So we're still offering guidance and advice and trying to help people the best ways that we can. It's a little difficult to go do on-farm visits. We're really, that's discouraged, and certainly by tomorrow morning, I imagine that will not happen at all. But we're still here for people to support them and try to help them in any way we can. And
So because of the governor's order, Extension can't travel to an individual farm the way you would in regular time, but you can still talk to growers by email or by phone.
Yeah, we've not been formally told that by the university. Up to last week, it was kind of, I think, still at our discretion. But at this point, I'm thinking moving forward, that would probably be the wisest thing to do. Just because with this particular virus, you just don't know. You can be a carrier and not express any symptoms. So,
Right.
So you can just take those extra precautions.
Okay. So how are you holding up generally? What is it like to be raised to be a chicken farmer when, a lot of time you're on the farm, you can be out by yourself and that's normal, but now everybody's by yourself. What's it like for you?
Well, I mean, certainly the change in my job, I love helping people, and that interaction with people is definitely changed. But still people are calling, and I enjoy receiving those calls. If somebody does have a question, you can do FaceTime, if somebody has got that ability, where, certainly somebody can take a screenshot and send it to you and you look at something and then try to explain if you see something in particular going on. But my chickens actually moved last week. So I'm chicken free right at the moment. I'm supposed to get them back April 13th and 14th. And I guess the biggest angst from the chicken grower perspective is, especially during last week is, they were starting to put things in place of limiting, travel and things of that nature is, will the chickens move or will they not move? Is that, when I got there to put the feeders and the drinkers up at nighttime, will the crew show up? Could something change last minute? Will I have enough feed? Those are all the things that are going through your mind as far as, do I have what I need, if they don't move them? So it was certainly a sense of relief when they, once they were all moved out, that was a good feeling. Now the angst becomes, will everything continue to roll as planned, and will they still come back? But certainly we have a lot of preparations in between flocks to do, between windrowing, conditioning the litter, getting the house cleaned up, and really preparing for summer, because now we're getting ready, March is rolling on. Before you know it, it's going to be April, it's going to be May, it's going to be June, it's going to be hot. And we've had a pretty mild winter. So I think, not that that's a precursor to tell us that we're going to have a hot summer, but I certainly think we need to be as prepared as possible for warm weather.
Okay. So was there anything you had to do like last week on the farm to do differently because of all the social distancing, or was it not really affect you, inside the farm gate?
It wouldn't really change inside the farm gate. And really, for for animal production, in particular poultry, we practice biosecurity as it is. So we limit who can come and go from the farm. If they do come on the farm, they're expected to wear PPE. They're going to wear, coveralls. They're going to have plastic boots on. They should wear gloves, have a hairnet, that just to protect the chickens. We're already kind of in that mindset. We have foot baths that you have to step in, protect these chickens. So we're kind of already in that mindset on a poultry farm in terms of, protecting the birds from a biosecurity standpoint.
Okay.
So we really didn't change in that sense. But I do think what we need to be mindful of, especially for poultry farmers, is that, when you think about equipment repairs and things like that, where we maybe were able to run to the store and have what they may have had what we needed, those resources may become more limited, as far as fan motors and pumps for cool pads and things like that. So we don't want to wait last minute to get those things that we need, as far as like as we do head into warmer weather.
Okay.
But when the
Has there
needs
been
are great,
anything that you've tried to buy for the farm last week or over the weekend that you had trouble finding?
no, not as of yet, but I do think that's something we need to keep in the back of our minds. I know last week, normally I wouldn't have gone and gotten what I needed for the next flock until probably the week prior to getting chickens. But I thought, you know what, let me go ahead and get those things I need, whether that be box lids or paper or whatever I need to set the houses up. Everything else is already here on the farm as far as litter conditioning preparations. I did fill up all my diesel fuel tanks and my gas tanks that I use with the tractors. I got my tank filled for my generator, all those things, just trying to hedge on, I hope it don't come to that, but, just to be prepared.
So growers may want to look more weeks ahead in the future to figure out if they can supply in advance, stuff they might have bought a week ahead of time. They may want to try to buy several weeks ahead of time.
Yeah, and I think we also need to think about, as poultry farmers, we're all in it together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if there becomes a limited supply of cool pad pumps, right? Not everybody's chickens are going to be, 5 weeks old to market age all at the same time. So, we may have to work together, with our neighbors or whatever, just to try to, hey, I have a cool pad pump that went down. Do you have one I could borrow? They have chicks. Maybe they don't need it. I think we have to, and I think agriculture as a whole, we do try to be very helpful to one another, but we may have to be a little more mindful of that may be something we do moving forward.
Sure.
If it comes to that.
That's a great point. Yeah.
I'm hoping it doesn't come to that, but, I think that, we may have motors and cool pad pumps that maybe not built in this country that come from other places that it may be more challenging to get them. So we need to think about those things.
Sure. Do you interact any differently, like with your flock advisor when service techs, some people do come to the farm? I mean, like you said, biosecurity is constant in our industry, but I mean, are you avoiding shaking hands or getting too close to any service techs once they're on your property?
Well, being that I'm out of chickens right now, it really hasn't, and they left last week. And actually my service tech had a baby. So she was going to be out anyways.
Yeah.
But certainly once I get chickens back, I'm certainly going to respect that, 6 foot of separation. And, the chicken house is pretty big. The only place you'd have a difficulty with that might be in the little pump room where the control area is.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly, we're going to try to be conscientious of that and reduce that risk. And I would think that probably even for the integrators, they may lessen the amount of stops they expect their service people to do, or they may say, hey, we're gonna make a visit, but we'll call you or leave you a note. And typically that's what happens if the farmer isn't present when that person visits the farm, is that they're going to make some type of connection verbally. They may text, they may call, there may be a written document to say, hey, here's my suggestions for you. Here's what you need to do.
And I guess my last question, you have birds out. This would normally be a time when you have time to get off the farm a little bit. You might go out to dinner. You might be with friends, but of course, that's not happening so much. So what are you doing to keep your spirits up just as a person, in this time when you aren't able to use the freedom of movement that you might have?
Well, I mean, it certainly is disappointing because actually I probably have a little longer layout this time than I historically have had over the past 2 years. And then it would have been a chance to maybe go just even down to the beach for the weekend and just, you're not worried about the alarm going off. You don't have those worries, and you have a little extra time to accomplish the tasks that need to be done. But really it's, just getting to cook dinner at home where, we're typically on the go. We have a number of kids here at the house. And so it's being able to take time to cook dinner and hang out and play games and do stuff that I would always be like, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got this to do. I got to go here. I got to go there. And it really has kind of slowed things down, as far as life goes. And so that's kind of a blessing in disguise of all this, if there is any. Certainly there's a little angst, I mean, in terms of, do we have enough as far as, just what you need for a household? But, you make the best choices. You prioritize the things that you need, and hopefully, this will pass over.
Right.
But I think you just need to be kind of thinking ahead as much as possible.
And I found myself, calling more friends this weekend that I might otherwise text or not get in touch with at all. So I think this is a good chance for farmers and their friends to, get back in touch. Give that person a call if you haven't talked to them in a few months, because
Yeah.
more than likely they have a little more time.
Yeah, and really for the farmers themselves, if you're a poultry farm and you have chickens in, your work dynamic really isn't going to have changed all that much.
Right.
And really even for your grain farmers, they're now full tilt.
Right.
As far as trying to get ready. This is their time of year where they get busy. They're spreading
Right.
manure. They may be, they're preparing the fields. So this is where they really start to ramp up anyway. So probably
Right.
for most of your ag production, this isn't really a downtime. This is like a ramp up time. So
Right. And we should make clear and reassure that both in Delaware and Maryland, where the governors have closed some businesses by executive order, in both those states, agriculture and all the supporting industries and, ancillary allied businesses of agriculture are all deemed essential and are
yes,
all able to stay open. They've not been ordered to close.
that is correct. That is correct. Yeah. And just, one of the things that, we were going to have an opportunity extension to have some classes on, summer readiness and things like that. And for growers who are, getting ready to head into warmer weather, don't wait to test out those fans. Don't wait to test out that cool pad. This is a great opportunity to get them cleaned up really good, get your fans cleaned up really good, test your inside foggers, make sure, we had a mild winter. Hopefully nothing's, broke or busted from, things freezing, but being as proactive as possible. The biggest thing with this is like, it may slow us in being able to, what we used to be able to do in an instant as far as acquiring goods and services, it may take a little more time. So we just want to give ourselves that lead time.
Sure. Makes sense. All right, Georgie. Well, thanks for taking the time with me today.
All right. Thank you.
I hope your layout goes well, and looking forward to when your chicks come back in.
Yeah, I definitely am. That's I always get a little extra anxiety when chickens are leaving and when they come back. And so they kind of get you back into your normal routine when those birds are there, because
Sure.
okay, these are the tasks that need to be done each day. So.